Hello everyone, this is Tomato Chip Gaming, and today I'm going to do some commentary on how to get a 99 on Mythic Taloc. I've gotten 99 3 times now, and if I were to do it again, I think I could easily get a 99. I know the fight really well, and so I think I can help out a lot with that. So the spec of choice for this fight is going to be Affliction. It has really strong single target, obviously, so I went with Affliction here. Trinkets of choice is just any good single target trinket that sims really well. I think the best trinket is probably going to be Balefire Branch, which I don't have. Another really good one is, if you can get it, a really high eye level Dread Gladiator's badge from PvP, like 385, something like that, which I also don't have. I went into this fight with Vigilant Bloodshaper from Mythic Taloc, and then the Twitching Tentacle trinket from Mithrax, and that one came from Heroic Mithrax. So I'm going to review the one from October 31st. I actually scored higher on November 7th, but the video quality is not that great, so we're going to go with this one. Not much change from then, from between these parses, just better gear, better optimization of the fight, so this one should totally be fine. During this week, in today's parse, this would only have been a 98, not a 99, and that's just simply due to the fact that my gear among all players aren't as good. People don't know the fight, are still getting better at the fight. But yeah, like everybody only has 8 stacks of reorigination rate at this point, I believe, versus 10 now. So, but still, it's very good. Strategy's the same. Nothing has changed very much. So let's jump right into it. Let me just go ahead and load up this log, and you can kind of see the damage distribution. And here's my damage distribution. We decided to do Lust on Pull, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's a lot easier to Lust on Pull when there's less movement and everybody can get the most optimization out of their cooldowns. Another okay spot to Lust would be right after the elevator phase, but make sure you do it around the 3-minute mark. That's when everybody has their cooldowns up, so that's fine as well. I just think it's easier to do less on pull, so I would recommend doing it on pull. All right, so let's jump right into it. So here's the fight. The pool's about to start. Notice first off where I place my gateway and my portal. So there's 3 warlocks in this group, so it might be a little confusing, but I like to personally place my my circle on the left side of the field, and my gateway going from here all the way to the right side. The reason I do that is because we've designated the left side to drop off the bad stuff, and so if I stay on the right side, I can circle or gateway over there, and then circle over there and then gateway right back, so to minimize as much movement as possible. So that's where I would recommend you drop your place your stuff. By the way, talent choices for this one is going to be all single target. You're going to want to go Siphon Life, obviously. It's just going to be the standard talents. Nothing crazy there. If you want to see them, they're right here. You basically use this for all single target fights. Okay. So let's get started. So so basically here I'm doing the regular opener, obviously pre-plotting, stuff like that. A little bit of lag there. Now, obviously, ideally, you want to get 5 stacks of Unstable Affliction. I ended up getting 4, which is fine. Okay, and then I'm going through the general rotation. One thing, if I had to change one thing about this opener that I could have improved on, something's minor, my potion is still up for 8 seconds. I have a lot of haste in this fight. Haste is going to be slightly better than mastery for a pure single target fight like this one, but not by much. So haste or mastery are just as fine. I'm a min-maxer. Try hard, so I generally will gem everything to haste on Taloc, and as I get to Mithrax Cahoon, I'll gem everything to mastery. So this one I stack haste. Because of the lust and because of the haste, you're gonna gain shards quicker, and because my pot is still up, it would probably be better to just, even though I had to just use up all your unstable afflictions right away. And get that extra damage while the pot's up. But generally, you do only want to keep 1 unstable affliction on the target at all times for that extra damage increase. Yeah, make sure to dodge those the things that come out, I forgot what they're called, but if you get hit by that, you lose about 2 GCDs. It's minor, but you know, it's fine. So the reason I start on the right side is so everybody, I can distance myself from everybody who's on the left side, and it's easier for me to get across and drop the bad stuff off if I need to. You now will get either hardened arteries here, or you'll get the one where you have to stack on the boss if you don't have it, right? So if I had a stack on the boss, I'd just use Burning Rush, refresh my dots as I stack, and then slowly make my way back, stutter step my way back. I got hardened arteries, which is luckier in this case because there's a little bit less movement. All right, so during this time, I'm going to prepare for intermission. So basically, when you see the boss start going towards the middle, you're not going to be wanting to refresh your dots there. You're just going to be wanting to spam Shadow Bolts because you won't get value out of your dots at that point. One thing to note during the elevator phase, or whatever you want to call it, intermission, you always want to keep an agony on the boss, even though the Taloc won't actually take any damage from it. That's because you'll still get the soul shard regeneration from it. If you have ID, Inevitable Demise, you also want to keep a corruption on there because you will also get stacks of ID from that as well. So here I'm just going to spam Shadow Bolts right until he goes immune. I'm not going to refresh any of these dots. And you want to be spamming right here in the middle of the screen with the mouse. You just want to be spamming this mouse so you can click this ad as soon as possible. Unfortunately, it doesn't come up on the boss frames. Otherwise, it would be a lot easier to click it as fast as possible. But here, you just want to be spam clicking and casting Agony as fast as possible. So you want to put up all your dots as fast as you can. And I see a lot of people being a little conservative with the ad. During this time, you can, since you have an Agony on both the boss and the ad, you're going to generate shards really fast. So just unload with your unstable afflictions. So cast all dots and then Phantom Singularity off cooldown if it's up, and all unstable afflictions possible, just to get the most value out of this ad as possible. I'm not gonna actually cast Phantom Singularity on this ad because it's about to die, so it would be the next ad. Then on the boss, I'm gonna refresh my. I didn't need to cast a Shadow Bolt there, but just refresh my Agony. Okay, putting up all dots. Then I'm gonna unload all my unstable afflictions on the ad, and when I have all of my dots on there, I'm gonna cast the Death Bolt, and then continue with my rotation. So the goal here is to do as much damage to the ads as possible. Okay, again, refresh the Agony on the boss, and then spam the center of the screen to get the click on the Coalesce Blood as fast as possible. Put all your dots up. Just go ham on these ads right here. Okay, got a good Death Bolt off, stuff like that. One thing to note, you should always look at the preparation, or you should prepare for this fight and look at the kill time, how fast your guild generally will kill the boss. If it's depending on how fast or slow the boss dies, you may be able to get away with using a Dark Soul Misery during the elevator phase. So if you look at the times here, and your team generally will kill the boss 5 minutes or later, then you should use a Dark Soul Misery on the elevator phase. And the reason for that is you'll be using Dark Soul Misery and Dark Glare on pool. In 2 minutes you can use the Dark Soul Misery, and then at 4 minutes you can use Dark Soul Misery again with your Dark Glare for your second Dark Glare, right? So that's how you should do it. In this scenario, our guild kills the boss around 4 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe faster than that. So it'd be way too risky to use DSM on the elevator, and it doesn't give you that much damage value. So it's better in this case that I just saved my DSM. So you should be using, so again, just to repeat that, you should be using Dark Glare and DSM on pool, and then you use it again on after the elevator phase, ideally with Lust if you saved the Lust, or just whenever you've pulled enough shards and you're ready to go. And if you take over 5 minutes to kill the boss, you should use the DSM again on the elevator, assuming you lusted on pull. Alright, it's skipping. I don't know why, but sorry about that. So here we go. I'm going to prepare to also dot up the boss right here because he's about to come off immunity. So I'm going to spread my dots a little bit. I'm going to dot up the ad and then try to get as much dots as I can as the boss is coming back. I'm burning rush to come back. If you do place a portal on the elevator, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here, I think I tested it, it actually disappears once you fall off the elevator. Anything, all the gateways, everything here will disappear. So I don't think you can port back to the ramp. I think I tried it and it didn't work. But that would have been awesome if you could. So here, now I'm just ignoring the ad because I already have my dots on here. I want them to get full value. There's obviously a priority target here now that I can focus on and get the most damage on. So I'm just going to leave the dots that I have on the ad and the rest is going to go to the boss. I'm also going to start preparing to pull shards here, right? Because I want to prepare for a huge dark lair. So you'll see me cast the Phantom Singularity here, and my plan is going, since I don't have enough shards to go off on my combo yet, I'm going to cast the Phantom Singularity now and then go off when the Phantom with my Dark Lair when the Phantom Singularity is off cooldown. Oh, actually that's not the case. I gained shards right away, so I'm just gonna go straight up with the combo. So here you see me pulling shards. I burning rush over since I didn't get hardened arteries. Unfortunately, I burning rushed all the way over to the tank to help stack. This is when I can start refreshing my dots. Hopefully I did that. It was skipped a little bit. I'm not sure if I saw that, but I need to be refreshed. I almost died there too. You should make sure you use a defensive there. Refresh your dots, and then right here is when I'm going to go off on my combo. Oh, it looks like I already did, so I think we might have missed that there. Let's take another look at it just in case. So here we go. So it's just the stream skipping. So here I start here's where I go off on an Unstable Affliction. Notice that I use my second pot here and with DSM as well. Death Bolt, Dark Lair, etc. Okay, again, since your pot is up 2, it's okay to use extra Unstable Afflictions on the target. If you have 2, especially use them because during your pot you get the most damage up, and your biggest damage dealer is your Unstable Affliction. So while your pot is up, it's okay to kind of go ham with those Unstable Afflictions. So here I'm just going to go my regular rotation. As you see, I spiked to like, I don't know, 17.8k, something like that. At this point, the faster the boss is dead, the more damage you're going to end with, right? So at this point, I just gotta hope my team kills the boss as fast as possible. As your team will get better at this fight, you're gonna probably end with higher damage. That's just how the story goes, right? Just because the bosses basically will die. The closer the boss dies to your peak burst window, the more damage you're going to have. Eventually we do kill it, and I think I end around 16.7k, which in today's parse is a 98. Back then it was a 99. So that's basically how you're going to want to play Taloc. Some other notes: avoid the volatile bloods on the elevator. Don't even dot them. Don't even worry about them unless they're like there and there's nothing else to do. Then you can put an agony on. Hopefully maybe it'll give you some soul shards out of it, but it won't give you any DPS whatsoever. So the main thing to reiterate this is, it's just going to be your regular rotations. Make sure you minimize as much movement as possible. You can utilize your gateway and your circle for this. During the elevator phase, you're going to want to go as hard as you can on the ad. You want to keep an agony on the Taloc at all times. Even though it doesn't do damage, it's going to give you soul shards. If you have inevitable demise, then you also want to keep a corruption on that boss, on the boss as well. And then make sure you pull shards accordingly. You use your second pot and you go hard on the boss, right? Again, another thing I want to emphasize too, since I didn't use inevitable demise on this boss, if you are using inevitable demise, it's still good. You just want to make sure when you have 100 stacks, you use it with your Dark Lair when your potion's up, because that's when it's going to deal the most damage, right? I'm not sure if I talked about traits, but the best traits for this fight, it's just going to be the standard traits for single target. So Cascading Calamity is pretty good. I used that for my last fight. Racking Brilliance is really good. Inevitable Demise is decent here if you used correctly. Yeah, those. And then, am I missing anything? Sudden Onset can be okay as well. So all the top Warlock traits are totally fine for this fight. I personally went with Racking Brilliance, and in this one I went with 2 Racking Brilliances, and then my second one I went Racking Brilliance, Cascade and Calamity. Oh, and also obviously you want at least one of your traits to be archives because of the reorigination rate. One more thing I wanted to point out about this, Mythic Taloc in particular, be careful when you're checking the parses for this fight. There are some parses in the top 100 that are padded. The way you can determine if they're padded or not, you can like look at this guy, for example, which is padded. He's had 19,000 DPS on October 25th and hasn't been beaten since. So if you look at this guy, for example, the way you would pad here on this fight is you basically tell your whole team not to attack the ad, and then only select a few people in your team to only pick the ad, right? So therefore the ad will be up throughout the whole entire duration of the fight, and you'll get ad damage and boss damage at the same time. So if we were to look at, for example, well, let's translate this. If we were to look at, for example, the damage done only to Coalesce Bloods, notice how even after the elevator phase, there is an add up the entire duration of the fight. Not only that, if you look at the ad damage, you have only 2 people actually really going hard on this ad. Maybe this person, but that's it, right? This is clearly padded. These people are not even trying to damage the ad at all, right? Whereas this person's 8,000 of his DPS is coming just from the ad alone, which is insane. And if you subtract 8,000 from this player's overall DPS, it's going to be about I don't know, 11,000 in boss damage, which is on the low side. So if you're looking for a good parse and you're analyzing, careful, because this guy is actually going to hurt you more than help you, or analyzing a padded parse because they're actually not doing things probably most optimally, they just padded. So just a tip, if you want to, an easy way to find like good parses would be to go here and go to damage only to bosses and start from there, so we can ignore the ad damage. This guy and this guy, I can tell you these are number 2 and number 3 overall, and 1 and 2 for boss damage. They are legit and great people to study from if you want to look for how you can improve on this fight, and look for like the top parses. If you do have any questions, please feel free to comment down below, or if you have any feedback or whatever. Hope this helps, and yeah, have a good one.